so, Hello guys. I hope everyone is doing good and fine. So, let's talk a bit about dynamic programming. So, the aim of this series is to teach dynamic programming from beginner level till advanced level. Okay, so any person who is a beginner in DP should be able to reach advanced level. That's my main goal for this series. So, one more thing I would like to add is that. I will be making 50 to 60 videos on this topic of DP because I think that at least these many videos are needed to get in-depth understanding of DP. Okay, so the aim of the series is pretty clear in the first point to us. Okay, now let's discuss the very important second point, which is remove fear. So now you guys must be knowing this thing is which is that the crux of the matter is that people in general have too much fear and they have the preconceived notions that DP or dynamic programming is the hardest topic in DSA and they can never get good at it or they can never master that topic, but they can not be further far away from the truth. The thing is that if you have the right kind of mindset and you follow the right strategy and get an in-depth understanding of DP, then it's not really that hard. It's actually easy to get good at DP. All you need is the right strategy and the right understanding. Most of the people I see is that they lack the in-depth understanding of DP. That's why all the chaos and the issues coming up and the fear and the preconceived notions being developed. So remember, main thing is that we have to start loving DP and we have to remove the fear. If you keep fearing, you won't be able to grow. Okay. Now, before we start, there is very important thing which I would like to explain, which is about the unique manner or strategy. So, what am I trying to convey through the unique manner or strategy? So the thing is that let's go back 3 4 years. Okay, so 3 4 years ago, when I was like myself trying to study dynamic programming, I went to internet and saw various tutorials on DP and videos on DP like everyone does, and I observed that there is one prevalent strategy. There is one particular traditional method that everyone is following while teaching DP. What do they do is they first talk about recursion, then they talk about memoization, and that's it. They tell you that this is DP. Everybody, everywhere I go, the same thing is being sold out to me. Is that first you do recursion, then you learn memoization, and that's it. That's all you need to do in DP. But now the I will talk about the main issue. The main issue is that whichever beginners are there, or whoever is a beginner, and whoever tries to follow this methodology, most of the times they never get good at DP. Okay. Now let me explain why don't they ever get good at DP. The thing is that if you follow that traditional methodology which everyone is teaching, the raw and pure understanding of DP you won't have, and the crux of the matter does not get penetrated in person's understanding. So what happens is that now the person does not have an in-depth understanding of DP. So the person can never solve new DP problems by using their own thinking skills, and they can only solve the DP problems which they have once seen or they have memorized. So the crux of the matter is that you have to follow a unique manner and a unique strategy and not go with the traditional strategy which everybody is following, because in the traditional strategy your in-depth understanding of DP gets really hampered. So what is the unique strategy which I'm going to use? So coming to my Jamboard, just a second, like let's move to the unique strategy I was talking about. Yeah, so the unique strategy which I'm talking about is that while teaching DP for first 10 to 15 videos, what I will do is uh, I will be using only these two things in my DP explanation. One is loops and conditions, L plus C, and the second thing is array. I have written them over here as well. Loops and conditions and arrays. So now the thing is that all I am going to use while explaining my DP stuff is loops and conditions and arrays. And the best thing about this is that every beginners know these things. Okay, any person who is a beginner in programming does know about loops, conditions, and arrays, so they will be able to understand the concepts I'm trying to teach them. Okay, so that is the number one benefit, and the number two benefit is that when I'm using only these things, the in-depth understanding of DP gets stronger, because now your focus will be on DP and not on the technical jargons of recursion and memoization. Now, because loops and conditions and arrays, these things are easy for you. So you will be able to focus on DP in a much more easier manner. Okay, now you won't be having the fears of recursion, memoization, and stuff like that. All you have to do is improve your raw and pure understanding of DP. I will be doing this for just first 10 to 15 videos. After that, I will introduce the concepts of recursion and memoization. Why? Because in after 10 to 15 videos, it is obvious that your understanding of DP will be clear. And if after that I try to introduce the other methods of solving, which are recursion and memoization, you guys won't be having an issue because the basic fundamentals and the basic pillars of DP for you guys are really strong. So remember that I will be taking things from easy mode to the harder mode. So interestingly, our unique strategy is just to use loops, conditions, and arrays and become good at DP, and later on introduce the concepts of recursion and memoization, and not at the start. Okay, because I did try to do this method in my earlier days by just trying to do these things via recursion memoization, and the result was not good. Later on, I myself luckily figured out the strategy that if I try to learn DP in a simple manner for some time, then it's easy to transition to this recursion memoization phase. But initially, we need to know how to solve the DB problems just by using the loops, conditions, and arrays. And the best thing about this concept is that most of the DB problems, even the hardest ones, can just be solved with loops, conditions, and arrays. And recursion and memoization is not always needed. But we will surely learn this method as well. So I hope you guys now know what unique strategy I was talking about. Going back to our Google Doc, yeah. So the fourth point, which is also very important, it is that we will always be trying to discuss as many new unknown non-standard problems of DP. I did not write DP here, just a second. So all the problems, guys, will try to discuss will be new and unknown. They should not be the standard popular problems which are available on the internet. Like you say, longest increasing subsequence or LCS, knapsack, etc., etc. Those things are good for understanding, but they don't actually help you increase your thinking skills of DP. So the crux of the matter is that we will be trying to discuss more and more new problems which we have never seen before, because these will help us enable our thinking skills. This will help us enable our thinking skills. So I think the fourth point is pretty clear. Now let's talk about fifth point. Fifth point is enjoyment and fun. So it is very necessary to have enjoyment and fun while during our learning process. So we will be having fun during the process. Okay, guys. So I hope all the 5 points are clear. And okay, yeah, one more important thing. Let's talk about my something about me or my introduction. So this is my LinkedIn profile, and I will be mentioning the link to my LinkedIn profile in the description, and also all the other important links. So anybody who wants to know more about me can connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't want to spend much time on my introduction because it's more important to discuss DP. So whoever is interested in knowing more about me can just go to my Telegram groups or my LinkedIn. I'll mention links to all of them. So I think now it's the right time we start discussing DP. So let's clear up everything. Okay. So let's discuss few things. Okay. Say we are also, guys, say we are given a problem. Okay. Problem P. Just a second. Yeah. The problem is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, so whenever we are given a large problem, what is the optimal thing to do? We can break the problem into small parts. 1 plus 2, this now has become a smaller problem. Then another small part, 3 plus, breaking the problem into smaller parts. Then another small part, it is 5. So the step number 1 is breaking into smaller parts. Okay, now we can solve the small parts. Solving the smaller parts is very easy. Breaking into smaller parts, step 1. Step 2 should be solving S, and then again S, solving the smaller parts. 1 plus 2 is what? 3. 3 plus 4 is what? 7. And 5 as it is. So the third step and the last step is to combine the smaller solutions. So 3 plus 7, 10 plus 5, 15. So you guys must have noticed what we did to solve the large problem. Let's call LP as the large problem. We break the large problem into small parts. Okay, small parts, small parts में break करा. Then we try to solve the small problem, because solving the small problem in anything is in general is easier. So solving the small problem 3 7 5, then combining the solution to all the small problems, we get the answer to the largest problem. 3 plus 7 plus 5 15. So there are three steps. This is what basically DP is all about. Take a large problem, break it into smaller parts, then solve those smaller parts individually, then using some strategy try to combine the solution of the smaller parts to finally get the answer to the original larger problem. Okay, now the actual definition of DP is much more complex, but as we are at beginner level we should not go into that. We should just keep this thing in mind, which I'm trying to say is that we are given a large problem, we'll try to break it into small parts, and we will get the solution to those small parts. Then we will remember the solution to those small parts, combine them to get the answer to the larger part. Okay guys, so this is what DP is all about. Okay, now actual definition is a bit more complex, but at the beginner stages we should not explore that. We will be exploring that in our like fifth video or the sixth video of the series. So like if I try to explain it in more diagrammatical form, we are given a say we are given a problem P. So I try to break it into two parts, say P1 and P2. I break it into small parts, then I try to solve these problems, small problems, S2 S1. Then I combine these problems to a larger solution, which is nothing but solution to P. This is what dynamic programming is all about. All you are going to do is break things into smaller parts, find solutions to them, then use some strategy to combine these solutions and find the answer to the original large problem. Okay? Now, this is a simple definition of DP, and I would suggest just keep this in mind for some time. We will keep evolving our definition of DP, but the crux of the matter is that at the basic level, only this thing is happening in reality. So always keep this thing in mind. So this is what DP or dynamic programming is all about. So right now I will try to discuss a simple problem. First, we will discuss the normal brute force solution to that problem. Then I will try to discuss the DP method to solve this problem. Okay. So let's go to that problem, guys. Yeah. So okay. So many of my students, like actually, I have 100 to 200 students under me. I have taught this concept to all of them. Yeah. So I'll be teaching this to you guys also as well today. Such a nice moment for me. So let's consider the question. The question is we are given an array 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, and these are the indexes. Let's consider one based indexing. Huh? We are not starting from 0. Our index starts from 1. Okay. Yeah, just let me. So on index 1 there is number 2, then on index 2 there is number 3, then 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Now the question is that we will be given q queries. Okay, q queries. In each query we will be given an index I. For this for this index I, you have to tell the sum of all numbers from 1 to I. You have to tell the sum of all numbers from 1 to I. Say if the person gives us the index 4, then what will be the answer? The query is 4. Answer will be first number plus second number plus third number plus fourth number. Okay, which is 9. So for this index 4, we are giving the sum from index 1 till index 4, which is 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. If the query was index 1, then the answer would be just the first number, which is 2. Okay, which is 2. If say the query was 3, guys, what would be the answer? It would be first three numbers, which is 2 plus 3 plus 2. Got it, guys? Which is 7. And if the query was say index 6, then what would be the answer? Answer would be 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, which is 11. So and if the the index, the query is 7, then first 7 numbers means the sum of the whole array, which is 13, I guess. So I hope the question is clear to everyone that we are given an normal array. Then we are given few queries. In each query we are given an index, and given the index I, we have to tell the sum of numbers from index 1 to index I. Okay, so that's the question. Whatever index given I, you have to calculate the sum of numbers from index 1 to index I of the array. Okay, this is our given array. So I hope the question is clear to everyone. Okay, so what can be method 1 to solve this? Okay, let's discuss the method 1 to solve this. Method 1 to solve this, it is very general. I think everybody knows. Most of the people here would be knowing who are watching this video. It is that we will be running a for loop. Okay, we'll be running a for loop and calculating the sum from 1 to I. Okay, just run a for loop and calculate the sum from 1 to I. Okay, just like for I equal to 1. Okay, let's use the index j. Then j less than equal to I. Then j plus plus. And inside we use some variable. Let's use s equal to 0. All we need to do is s equal to s plus a of I. And then finally just print s. Okay, so what is happening here? We are just traversing the array and finding the answer to one single query. Given an I, just iterate from 1 to I, find the sum of all those numbers and just print that thing. Okay, but now there is an important thing that I want to discuss with you guys. It is that say a query is given to us with index I. For that you travel the array. This is your solution. So you traveling the array in worst case takes O of n time. Got it, guys? Traveling, the solution is traveling the array for each query. So for one index, agar one index is given to us, it takes O of n time to travel the array and calculate the sum. Travel the array plus calculate the sum. Okay, guys. So for one query, it takes O of n time, and we are given q query, guys. So it will be taking obviously O of n into q time. Okay. Now this is a very large time complexity. One query के लिए we need O of n time, but for q queries we need O of n into q times. It means कि for each query we will have to run a for loop. Okay, every time we run a for loop we need O of n time in worst case. So total time needed will be O of n into q. This is not very efficient. This is not very efficient. Okay, guys, this is not very efficient. But this is one way to solve the problem. Okay, guys, this is one way to solve the problem. The other way to solve the problem is let me go back. Looking for some empty spaces. Yeah, yeah. It's so rainy in Mumbai. Yeah, so the other way to solve the problem is, I guess, which topic we are studying? DP, right? This is the second method to solve the problem is dynamic programming. Okay, guys. Now, now, guys, I will be trying to give you guys a simple method. You can use that method as a blueprint to solve most of your DP problems. Okay, so let me introduce that method to you guys. So whenever a DP problem is given to you guys, the first thing as you guys are beginners, this is a beginner level video. All you need to do is declare an empty DP array like this. Okay, guys, an empty DP array of size n. Just declare an empty DP array of size n. Got it, guys? Now, what is the meaning of DP of I? DP of I ka meaning is the best answer to the question if the size of array was only I. Okay, always remember this thing. That DP of I ka meaning is, the meaning of DP of I is the best answer to the question if the size of the array in the question was just I. What we do is we calculate dp1, we calculate dp2, we calculate dp3, then till n we calculate till dpn. How we calculate this? By using a loop and a formula. People call these as recurrence formula as well. Then dp of n in most cases generally is our final answer, and it's done. Okay, Like, let me introduce one of my very popular websites, which is Desi Q&A. So here I have mentioned many of my written tutorials on dynamic programming, and the tutorial which we are discussing in this video is this one. Okay, so interested people can visit here as well to study DP. This is one of my favorite websites. I made it from scratch, and currently it has 1 to 2 lakh visitors per month. So yeah, the most important trick while solving a DP problem is what I have mentioned here it very clearly, that first you declare what you need to do is while solving a DP problem. Where did my board go, man? Always declare an empty DP array of size n. A question is given to us. Always declare an empty DP array of size n. Then try to understand the meaning of DP of I. Okay, guys, try to understand the meaning of DP of I. After that, you have to calculate DP of 1, DP of 2, DP of 3 till DP of n. How will you calculate that? By using a loop and a formula. The most important thing in DP is to calculate this formula. Once you know the formula, you have calculated all the DP values, DP1 से लेके DPn तक. So DP of n is in most cases is our final answer. So that's it. The strategy is pretty simple and pretty clear. You can follow this as a blueprint in your initial days of learning DP. Just declare an empty DP array of size n. Try to understand the meaning of DP of I. Try to calculate DP1 से लेके DP till DP of n using a loop and formula, and that's it. Your job is done. DP problem is solved by just using a loop and for loops and arrays. Okay, guys. As of now, we will be solving problems using just 1D arrays. As the complexity increases, I will be talking about multidimensional DP, which includes 2D arrays and 3D arrays. Okay, guys. So let's get back to business. So what was our question? Yeah, so we had a nice array, right? Yeah. I got it. I got it. Yeah. Let's discuss the DP method to solve it. Okay. Say the array is simple now. 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 5, things like that. Okay. Now I have first step is clear. I make the DP array of size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So DP array of size 6. Okay. The second thing, let's calculate the value of DP of 1. So DP of 1 is nothing but the first element, which is 1. Let's calculate DP of 2. DP of 2 is nothing but the sum of first two elements, which is 1 plus 2, which is 3. Now let's calculate DP of 3. DP of 3 is nothing but sum of first three elements, which is 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is 4. Right? Now I have done few observations which I would like to explain. You guys know that DP of 1 का meaning is first number, DP of 2 का meaning is sum of first two number, DP of 3 का meaning is sum of first three numbers. So the meaning of DP of I is clear. What is the meaning of DP of I? It is sum of first I numbers. Okay, guys, so always remember the step which I was talking about. We declared an empty DP array, we clear up the meaning. Now we are trying to calculate DP of 1, DP of 2 and things like that. Okay. So DP of 1 is clear to us, DP of 2 is clear to us, DP of 3 is clear to us. Obviously, we know that DP of 4 is the sum of first four numbers, right? But this is the stage where we have to create the formula. So we'll do some observation, guys. Like, we already know the sum of first three numbers, guys. We already know this. What is the sum of first three numbers? It is DP of 3. So DP of 4 is nothing but DP of 3 plus this number 1, which is A of 4. This is, see, we created the formula. This was the most important thing in DP. The most important thing in DP is to use the observation. Like, first calculate the answer for the small numbers like 1, 2, 3. Use the observation and make a formula. Now you have created the formula. We have created the formula. What? DP of 4 is nothing but what? DP of 3 plus a of 4. dp of 4 is basically what? Sum of four numbers, but we can use the answer which we previously calculated. dp of 3 ka meaning is what? It is the first sum of first three numbers. So just take those first three numbers and add the current number. So dp of 4 is nothing but what? dp of 3 plus a of 4. Similarly, dp of 5 will be what? We have to calculate sum of first five numbers. We already have the sum of first four numbers. So dp of 5 will be dp of 4, which is the sum of first four numbers plus the fifth number, which is 3. So 3 ko we can call as a of 5. Okay, why I am calling it as a of 5? Because this is array a. This is index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4 and index 5. So we have been able to find a formula to calculate the dp of I values. Okay, let me write that formula a bit clearly. So the formula is, guys, say dp of 6 is dp of 5 plus a of 6. So let's replace 6 by I. Then dp of I is dp of I minus 1 plus a of I. So now we have our recurrence formula. By using this formula, we can calculate dp of 2, dp of 3, dp of 4, dp of 5, dp of 6 till dp of n. All we have to do is write this formula in a for loop, and we can get the values of dp, right? For if we want dp of 3, just substitute I by 3. You will get the value of dp of 3, then dp of 4, then dp of 5, then dp of 6 till dp of n. Okay guys, so I hope this thing is clear to you guys. Once you have calculated everything from dp of 1 to dp of n, so let's assume you know the value of dp of 1, you know the value of dp of 2, you know the value of dp of n. What was its meaning? Its meaning was first number. Its meaning was sum of first number and second number. And dp of n ka meaning is sum of all the numbers. So now you have all these sums. Now if a query comes to you guys, okay, query comes as index I, they want the sum of numbers from 1 to I. Now you don't have to worry, you don't have to calculate, you already have the answer. The sum of numbers from 1 to I is nothing but dp of I, guys. And we already calculated it here. We calculated all the dp values. Now no matter what index is coming in the query, we can solve the questions, because we have the value of dp of 1, dp of 2, dp of 3, 4, 5 till n. The query of I ka meaning, what was the meaning? What was the meaning of the question? They wanted the sum of numbers from 1 to I, and the sum of numbers from 1 to I is nothing but dp of I, and dp of I is already calculated. It's been already been calculated here. So to answer this query, we don't have to do anything. We just have to print dp of I, and this takes O of 1 time. Okay. So for one query, it takes O of 1 time. So for Q queries, it will just take O of Q time. Okay. The first method one. Okay. Let me talk about the method one. The method one, where we were running for loop for each query, was taking O of n into Q time. But now our method 2, which is the dp method, it is just taking O of Q time, guys. Just O of Q time. For each query, whenever I comes, all you have to do is do print dp of I. Got it, guys? Print dp of I, and just printing dp of I just takes O of 1 time. So for Q queries, it takes O of Q time. But there is a catch. We also require extra O of n time. Now you may ask, why we require O of n time extra? We require this O of n time to calculate the values from dp of 1 to dp of n. Got it, guys? You have to calculate, na? What you will be doing basically is running a for loop, and you will be calculating dp of I, and I will be going from 1 till n, guys. Okay, so this procedure will take O of n time, and answering each query will take O of Q time. So total time is O of n plus Q. So our dp method, which is method number 2, takes O of n plus Q time, and the method number 1 was taking O of n into Q times. Now it is common sense that multiplication of two large number will always be greater than addition of those numbers. So this is much more efficient. It takes less time. Okay guys, this takes less time. So this is our very first problem on DP, which we have solved using just for loops and arrays. In the next 10 to 15 videos of mine, what I'll be doing is taking harder and harder problem to strengthen the concept of you guys. Okay, and the solution will always involve for loops and 1D arrays, 2D arrays, and 3D arrays. That's it. Okay, we will be focusing on DP states and how to create the recurrence relations. Okay, and we will be doing these things in a very fun manner. Okay, guys. So I think, guys, it's now the time to write the code. For one time, I will try to over tell the overview of what we have done. So the yeah, so we were given an array. The question was that given multiple queries, in each query we are given an index I. We have to tell the sum of numbers from index 1 to I. Okay. One method is what? For each query, just run a for loop and calculate the sum of numbers from index 1 to I. But that is not efficient. The second method is to use the DP method. Okay. For DP method, what we do? Step number one is create an, as we are at beginner stage, step number one is just create an empty DP array, okay, of size n. Understand the meaning of DP of I. The meaning of I think, is the most important part in the DP problems. DP of I here means the sum of numbers from 1 to I. We are storing that in that our DP array. Then calculate calmly, slowly. Calculate DP of 1, DP of 2, till DP of n. How you will calculate this? By just using a for loop and a formula. Okay, guys, for loop and a formula. Just use this. Then, in most cases, DP of n is our final answer. In some cases, we might be needing all the DP or DP values for our final answer. For example, in this case. So, using this methodology, we have solved our DP problem. Now, and it took O of n plus q time. It takes O of n time to travel the array, and it takes O of q time to answer the queries. Okay, guys. So let's move towards writing the code for it. Okay. The DB method is efficient and it only takes O of n plus q time. Okay. Now let's move towards coding part. Okay. So it's been a long time since I've done solve DB problems. So let's see what happens. Yeah. So let's start the coding part. For this video, I will be doing coding in C++ because that's my favorite language, and I will also be mentioning the code link in the description below, guys. Okay. So first thing is first. Let's take the input of array. Okay. So we declare integer n. Then let's declare our array. I'll be using one based indexing. Okay, one based indexing. Just let me write that. So yeah. Okay. So just taking input of our elements. Uh, these things are really basic. So I take input of all the array elements. Let me try if it's working fine. Let's say phi is our array. Then phi is the size of our array, and the array elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope this works. Okay, I think okay. There are some issues with the compiler, I guess. Okay, no issues. Command C. Let me refresh one time. Yeah, today I think. Just a second. Yeah, so just let me try our input array. Yeah, so it's taking our elements in. No issue with that. Now, what was the step number one? Step number one is to make a DP array. So I just make a DP array. Okay. Let's give value 0 to it index. Okay. Step number 2 was what? If we try to check what was our step number 2. Yeah, step number 2 was, I guess, about understanding the meaning of dp of I. So we have its understanding. Step number 3 is to calculate all these dp values using loops and a formula. Okay, guys. So what was the value of dp of 1? It is nothing but the first number. What is the value of dp of 2? It is the sum of first two numbers, and so on. We know that. Okay. People also call these things as base cases. Okay. Writing the first few values by ourselves is a good strategy. Okay, because we will be using these values later in our for loop. Okay, guys. Now let's start the loop from index 3, and let's run the loop till n, and let's write the formula. What was our formula? If I go back to our formula, it was dp of I is nothing but dp of I minus 1 plus a of I. So dp of I is nothing but dp of I minus 1 plus a of I. Okay. So let me explain something. This took O of n time. This took O of n time. And we calculated all the dp values. We calculated all the required dp values. So this procedure which we did took O of n time, and we calculated all the required dp values. Now we will be given queries, guys. Okay, let's read the query. Query number, amount of queries. Now uh, let's travel through the queries and read each query. So what's happening in each query is that we take an index. Okay, we read that index, and what is the answer? Answer is simple. We already have the answer. We also, like in competitive programming, we call this technique as prefix sum technique or pre-computation technique. Okay, guys. So it's nothing but dp of index. Let's just write cout slash n for better visibility. So this thing took O of Q time. We answered all the queries in O of Q time. So total it takes O of n plus Q time, which is nothing but our total time. Okay, guys. So answering the queries only take O of Q time because there are Q queries, and answering each query only takes O of one time. All you have to do is just print the DP of index. All the DP values are already calculated. That's the great thing about this problem, guys. So let's try. Let's try all possible. Say we have five queries. First query two, then three, then four, then five, then one. Let's see what's the answer. Okay, sorry guys, redeclaration. Let's fix the error and let's run things again. So the first query was what? 2 means sum of first two numbers. So see, it is 3, which is correct. Then sum of first three numbers, which is 6. Sum of first four numbers, 10. Sum of first five numbers, 15. Sum of just first number, 1, which is 1. So our strategy is absolutely correct. Okay, and this is the input I'm using. Let me just copy paste it down here. Okay, guys, so I'll be mentioning the links to all the important things. Our part one of the video is now done. I'll be mentioning the IDEON link of this code. I'll be mentioning links to my profiles, and like whichever people are way too much interested in studying DP, they can study DP from my website DCQNA, and I have mentioned like 5 to 6 written tutorials here as well. So, guys. It was very nice to teach you guys part one. So we will meet in the next video with part two, guys. So take care, guys. Bye.